Hi everyone, welcome to Cascade Hypnosis Center. I'm in beautiful Bellingham, Washington. It's a gorgeous day today. I want to say thank you for joining me here today. We're going to talk about our hypnosis certification training course, and our next course is coming up in just 3 weeks away, so it's a great time for us to get into some of the details. So that's why today we're covering the training Q&A. These are the questions that our incoming students are always asking us, so I want to make sure that we take time here today to answer these questions for you. Thank you for being here, and I'm in Bellingham. Please use the chat and let us know where in the world are you coming from. Are you here in Bellingham or are you somewhere else? Tim, our director of admissions, is in Hawaii. So please use the chat function. Let us know where you are in the world so we can welcome you today. All right. So I'm Erika Flint. I'm a professional hypnotherapy instructor and a board certified hypnotist. I got into hypnosis through a really low point in my life. I was a software developer, software engineer for a really big corporation, and everything looked like it was going really well, except it wasn't. I was miserable on some level, and this might have happened to you at some point too, where you kind of reach the end of your rope, so to speak. And to make a long story short, I used hypnosis to save my life, basically. I stopped drinking, I lost weight, I got rid of my TMJ, and there's all sorts of things that I did to make my life better. Now, hypnosis is very effective. So once I used it for myself, I realized I wanted to share it with everyone in the world. It really did make such a lasting change in my life. So I changed careers. I became a professional hypnotist in 2013, and I quickly hired my grads, right? So I started training right away. And this was in 2014. This is a long time ago, and hired my grads. And so we've had a wonderful time helping people do really hard things. But ultimately, I'm just really grateful for my personal experience, and I get to share some of that love and some of that insight with my clients and with our students so that people live more freely and happily. We've trained almost 500 compassionate humans in hypnosis, and that's my goal. I want to train 1,000 hypnotists. The more hypnotists that we have, each of you will work with 1,000 people at least through your career, so we can impact 1 million lives. Not enough people understand the value and how impactful hypnosis can be. Okay, so I'm glad that you're here today so I can tell you all about it. I'm also a board certified hypnotist with the National Guild of Hypnotists and an author of 4 books. I've won some awards, a bunch of awards with the NGH and the 5-Path organization. And that's just to show that, this is a profession, right? There are lots of things that you can do within this profession. Now, these are the 4 books that I've authored, but you might want this one if you don't have it yet. So if you'd like a copy of Can You Be a Hypnotist, please feel free to leave a comment in chat and we will get you a copy of that book. My first book was Reprogram Your Weight. And that has helped so many people lose weight with the power of hypnosis. As you can see, the background of this image here is an event that we had here in Bellingham. And so there's just a lot of really cool things that you can do to help people live more freely and live more happily right where you are at. So imagine how different your life would be if you knew you already had the skills of a hypnotist and could change people's lives with your work. Now, our agenda today, we're going to talk about the modern and professional hypnotherapeutic techniques that we use and teach at Cascade Hypnosis Center. And we only teach what we use with our clients. And I think this is an important point because my original hypnosis training, although it was okay, it didn't have any depth to it whatsoever. And I really didn't know exactly what to do with my clients. Once I got better training, more comprehensive professional training, which is what I'm going to talk about today, and I realized that we really need to have skill in some certain techniques. So you don't need to know everything, but you do need to have skill and depth in what we are teaching you. So we don't teach you every single thing. It's not like an a la carte of hypnosis. You're going to get some expertise, confidence, and depth in hypnosis. Okay, it's systematic and repeatable. This makes it easy for you to learn and easy to have success in class right away. And that's what we want. We want you to come to class, whether you're live online on Zoom or whether you're coming physically here to Bellingham into our classroom. We want you to have a personal experience with hypnosis, and that personal experience with hypnosis helps solidify your belief in the change. You'll see it yourself, right? And with that, that also helps you launch your practice, okay? So there's absolutely no prior experience or education. People always ask us or ask me if they need to be a counselor or a therapist or something like that. And that is great if you already are, of course, but you do not need to be. And the reason is because the nature of the way hypnosis works. Hypnosis, what we're doing is we're creating an environment for our client to have an experience, release limiting beliefs. So we're creating an environment. The information, the gold, so to speak, is in your client. Okay, it's in your client. So there's no prior experience or education needed. Your job and my job to help you is to learn to create that environment and hold that state. Okay. Today we're going to look through it through the lens of professional hypnosis certification training, the Q&A. Now, we always do this kind of right before class because we have students who are kind of making last minute decisions. We're 3 weeks out right now. So class starts 3 weeks from Sunday. So it's the perfect time if you are thinking about training with us in October to get all of your last minute questions answered. So if you do have questions, you can use the chat or the Q&A if it's around somewhere to ask us questions so that we can make sure you get them all answered. All right. So you're probably here today because you're thinking about becoming a professional hypnotist. You might have experience with hypnosis. Maybe you have been hypnotized, or you saw someone, or someone that you know or love has been. And you probably know the power of the mind. You probably had an experience where, oh, that was cool. Maybe you got a mind blow or something like that. And so you were part of an experience that felt kind of bigger than you, okay? But you also have the skills of a professional hypnotist, okay? My original hypnosis training was good, but I didn't know what to do with my clients. It was more of just learning a little bit of every technique, which was inspiring. It was a really good Hypno 101. So I got good information. I liked the teacher and the students, and I enjoyed the class. But when it was done, I didn't know what to do. I didn't know the first thing to do with my client. So there's just kind of a missing piece in a lot of hypnosis training, because a lot of it is kind of self-hypnosis, right? People get inspired to kind of learn about it for themselves, which is an important part of this class. But we want you to feel confident in that you know exactly what to do when a client calls, messages you. You know exactly how to take someone through the process of hypnosis, and that's what makes it professional. Being able to take a client from presenting issue all the way to complete results. Okay. So who is this training for? Well, it's for people with a servant's heart is normally. So you care about other people. You might be in a position right now, like we have a lot of massage therapists who, you know, their clients are kind of emoting on the table as they're getting their body work done. And massage therapists will say, well, I want to know what to do. I want the training to be able to help them with that part of it as well. We've had a lot of hypnotists come in from fields like IT, like me. I came in the field from IT, right? But very curious, and other people coming in from healing fields, nurses. We get a lot of teachers and that type of thing. So, you know, very compassionate humans. You want to help people. You really do. You want to help people. And so healers, nurses, educators, massage therapists, lots of coaches, lots of retirees as well. Okay. So what if you knew you already had what it takes to be a hypnotist? Because the truth is, you probably always had the heart. You probably always cared. And there might be an aspect of you that feels even big, right? Where some people might have said to you that you have too big of emotions, or you're feeling things too deeply. Well, guess what? That makes you an excellent hypnotist. As a matter of fact, it's one of the best skills that a hypnotist can have, is the ability to feel things very, very deeply. Okay. All right, so what questions are we going to go over today? Why become a hypnotist? And what is it like? Like, what is it like on a day-to-day basis, right? Does it really work, right? Does it, like, are there lasting results? Does it really change people's lives? Will they really grab you in the grocery store 2 years later and have to tell you who they are because they've lost 100 pounds and you don't recognize them anymore, right? Yes, yes. So I'll tell you about that. Can you really do it? Okay. And then how does our training work so you can get an idea of it, and what does the training include? We'll also talk about what happens after class, because really this is about helping people. It's not just about training. It's about going from classroom to client. So we absolutely help you go from classroom to client. Getting your first clients and having success with your first clients is going to massively increase your confidence. So we don't just stop teaching you when class is over. We're going to continue helping you work and get success with your first clients, okay? That's also something that is challenging for hypnotists. Like, they can get all the training, but then they don't know how to get clients. And then once they get their clients, they're nervous working with them, okay? Our training program is designed to take you through that whole cycle so that you are getting experience, and then that your confidence grows, so that then it kind of becomes self-fulfilling, right? So here are the other questions. What's the price and when is it? We'll get to that as well. Okay, so why become a hypnotist? Why become a hypnotist? You get to contribute in meaningful ways. Okay, so most hypnotists will report after doing it that they feel fulfilled. Okay, and you make good money at it too, so it's lucrative and fulfilling. But there's a lot of people that need hypnosis right now. There's a lot of people who are experiencing anxiety on unprecedented levels. There are a lot of people who are waking up to things in their life and they need to process it. They don't want to go see a counselor. They don't want any meds. They want something that hypnosis offers. Okay, so in general, the NGH states that hypnosis helps everyday people with everyday problems. Okay, so people that can't sleep at night, who can't turn off their thinking mind, who keep reaching for a cigarette when they don't want to, who are drinking more than they want to, who finally want to lose the weight. It's nearly everyone you meet. It's nearly everyone you meet can benefit from hypnosis. Okay, you get to earn a great income, even part-time. You can earn $5,000 a month easily. And you can choose the days you work, etc. Most hypnotists will work between 3 and 5 days a week. Okay, I see clients 3 days a week: Tuesday, Wednesdays, and Thursdays, and Monday and Friday I'm doing stuff like this. Mondays I'll have business meetings and things, but I'll have enough clients those days to keep everything busy for me and keeping clients happy and satisfied. Okay, getting started is relatively easy because there's no prerequisites. Your previous life experience, or we call it LE, you got your LE, right? So if you were previously a nurse, or you were previously a cashier, or you were previously an accountant, or you were previously a teacher, all of the skills you learned there and the understanding of working with those people or in that environment will support you in your role as a hypnotist, okay? So, and again, the answers are in our clients, right? So we get the honor of helping our clients navigate that. So we get to help our clients kind of sleuth, where is that internal pain coming from that's causing behavior that you don't want to be aware, that you don't want to be doing anymore, right? So continued, why become a hypnotist? Getting started is really affordable, especially in comparison to other new types of trainings or programs that you can invest in. Especially since really to even open up a new center or a new hypnosis office is very affordable. I mean, a chair, a table, a couple other chairs, and some furnishings. I think I did it for less than $1,000 when I got started furnishing the office, right? So it's not very expensive. A lot of other businesses, there is a cost per client overhead that is very expensive, and we don't have that either. So it's very affordable to get started. You can get started online. You can work from your home, and we have hypnotists that do that all the time. We have some that will do. We have one in particular who goes to Florida for the winter, and she does hypnosis out of her house there, and then she stays in the northern part of the US during the summertime. So she is able to travel and kind of have a part-time practice and really enjoy it. Okay. Hypnosis works really well on Zoom. Okay, so it is highly effective. I do prefer to see people in person because there's an energetic shift often, but the perfect balance is they come in to see you for maybe 1 or 2 sessions and then the rest can be from home. But it works really well 100% from home, and we have a lot of our grads who are doing that. Okay, you can work as little or as much as you want. And, that's part of being an entrepreneur, right? At the beginning, you'll mostly be talking about what you do and getting your first clients. But from there, you'll be working with clients. That's where a lot of your time will be spent face to face with your clients, okay? But you have the freedom to run your own practice. So in addition to seeing clients one-on-one, you'll very likely have group programs for the people who want to join because it's more affordable, and it will almost ensure that people have better and lasting results if you're able to incorporate a group program or additional assets for your clients to continue getting success. There's personal reasons to become a hypnotist. I mean, I had very strong personal reasons to become a hypnotist. I was not happy in my life at all. I needed a new way of thinking about things. And so a lot of people enter into hypnosis because of their own struggle. As a matter of fact, a lot of our grads do. A lot of our students come in because they're at their wits' end of not feeling good in themselves. Okay, and some people, they don't want to turn and go get help from somebody else. And this is true for a lot of our students. They're like, well, I was going to go see a hypnotist, but then I just decided I'm just going to do it myself. So they come for training. And that usually ends up being a really cool thing because they end up having a personal experience with hypnosis in training, and then that kind of launches them, right? So if that's you, if you're sitting there thinking, Erika, how can I help people with hypnosis? I have my own issues. Yeah. Okay. Some of the best hypnotists that have taken this class had their own issues when they came in. When you come from that place of suffering, or you come from that place of despair, or you're experiencing physical pain, or you're experiencing addiction, and you know what it's like to feel the depth of that sorrow and that suffering, it makes a tremendous impact when you're able to rescue yourself, so to speak. And then you tell that story and you carry that light because everybody around you gets so interested in how you did it. How did you set yourself free? And then you get to tell that story, right? So a lot of reasons that people train with us are personal reasons. They want to use it as a jumping off point for their new life. They're done with the old, right? And they want to come in and explore what this can do for them. That's kind of my experience too. I was not planning on changing careers and becoming a professional hypnotist when I took my first hypnosis class. I was just looking for a new way of thinking and being. But once I realized what it was really doing, I had to. I went from programming computers to programming the most powerful computing device in the world, the human mind. Okay. And live better, spiritual growth, right? There's a lot of spiritual growth that comes as part of this because people are getting rid of the limiting beliefs and barriers and structures that might have been primed with or put upon them. So there's a lot of that spiritual growth that can happen as part of this class too. I love it because it's fun and it's meaningful. I get to play with my clients all day. Okay, and that's how I think about it because in a state of play, our clients are learning. In a state of anxiety, they are protecting. So we need to be in a state of play when we're helping our clients to a large degree, and that will get them the results that they are looking for. So the results become very meaningful because clients will say to you, Erika, I've had this problem forever. It's been 20 years. And I can't believe that we just got rid of it in 2 sessions or 3 sessions or whatever it is, okay? And the results are consistent. And the reason is because our clients and the way the brain is set up, right, it's going to protect and block information from the client. And when we create that environment for them to notice using hypnosis, some of the change for our clients feels effortless. It feels effortless. And this is what I stress with my clients over and over and over again as a hypnotic suggestion, because habits are effortless. And when we can make the right suggestions for our clients to notice the effortlessness of aspects of the change, they start getting changes like in a rapid upward motion. They will start getting changes and transformation in things in their life they hadn't even thought of yet. Okay. So how will you get your clients and run your practice? Let's just go through this really short, a short version of this, okay? But this is a great way to operate your practice. The first layer at the bottom, the foundation, is working with private clients. Okay, you're going to work with a lot of private clients at first because you're going to hone your skills. You're going to get better and better and better and better and better and better. Now, as you continue working with private clients, some of the things are going to float up. There's going to be some consistencies. There's going to be things that you notice that make sense for group. And so you can teach group classes. Now that brings in more clients, but it also broadens your reach. You get to help more people. Okay, from there, there's going to be even more things to notice about hypnosis recordings, client intake forms, and things that are useful for your clients. And so you'll create products. Okay. Now, all three of these things help you have a practice that is fun to run, and you're helping people. You are maybe teaching a little bit of a broader audience. You could do that in person, or you can do it online. And then you have passive income products. So this entire pyramid here would be an excellent ecosystem for your business, where you would bring in consistent clients, have fun doing it, and make money with passive products, income products at the same time. And this just grows, right? You continue to grow and create new assets as your business grows and help more people. This is called the authentic growth method. It's easy to get started. Okay, we just have you start working with lots of private clients to begin with. It's easy to grow. You'll teach a class usually within the first quarter, probably on a stress relief or something, and it's fulfilling and lucrative. Okay, because create once, record once, and now you have a product that people will use over and over and over again. And why do they use it over and over again? Because it works. It works. Okay, my original hypnosis relaxation recording has been listened to by thousands and thousands and thousands of people around the world. It's on Apple, it's on all of the streaming sites, right? But that thing has been very useful for people. That's why they keep listening, right? So we want to create assets and recordings and things that people listen to. That gives them a moment of peace, the pause button. That is and becomes their go-to strategy. When they don't know what else to do, they're just going to listen to your voice, okay? It gives people the ability to get through hard times. Whereas in the past they would reach for a cigarette, now they're listening to your voice. Now they're listening to your words. And of course, everybody has their phone with them these days, right? So let's continue with how will you get clients. You're going to offer structured front-end packages with clear pricing. You're not going to do single sessions, okay? Don't do single sessions. They do not work for our clients outside of very, very, very specific use cases, okay? You're going to focus on common issues like stress, sleep, habits, confidence, public speaking. You might focus on your previous issue, your perceived previous issue, like you 2 years ago, is what a lot of our grads end up doing. Something that they were struggling with a couple of years ago that they aren't struggling with anymore because of hypnosis and how that came to be, okay? You're going to help the people around you. There's a lot of new businesses that are going to say, you need to niche down, you need to niche down. And that's true if you're competing in a global kind of online environment where everybody's pitching the same thing. But with hypnosis, hypnosis is more personal. Okay, people don't want to just do hypnosis with anybody. They need to trust you first, okay? And so I find that the best thing to do is start local. Okay, you just help people with the problems that they're having. Okay, you don't need to niche down at first. We are experts at emotion. Okay, so if you're going to niche down on anything, it's emotion. It's the hard problem. So somebody asked me a long time ago, Erika, what kind of problems do you work on? And I say the hard ones. The ones that people have tried other things and have failed. The ones where if you ask somebody, what one thing in your life have you not gotten the answer to? Have you not figured out? That's what I'm going to help them with, okay? Because hypnosis is different, and you can expect different results. For a lot of people, they've never had the experience of being able to go through hypnosis and notice, okay? So they might be in a hypnotic state, but they're not getting the wisdom out of it. Okay, so we get to give our clients massive skill and insight and a much better life in a very short period of time. So you're not going to do single sessions. This is going to increase your profitability and make your life so much easier. You'll create space for ongoing worker programs, probably in a couple of months after graduation, not right away, but usually within 6 months. And half your clients are going to want a group program. They want the community. They want to see you once a month online with another hypnosis recording or something like that. Half of your clients won't care about that. They want to go back to their lives, okay? But your business will be more profitable if you incorporate this type of thing from the beginning, even if there's only 1 or 2 people that are showing up, okay? So real success starts by helping people right in front of you, right where you are. I'm sure it's probably not a surprise to you that, once you tell someone you're a hypnotist or you're training in hypnosis, most people are super curious. They might be nervous because of the misunderstanding about hypnosis. And it's our job as hypnotists to properly educate people in what hypnosis actually is. Most people are going to be excited. Really? Really? You? Or something like that, right? And because people want the mystery, like they want the effortlessness, they want some of those kind of magical stories that they've heard, which, the magic is in our clients. Magic is in our clients. That's why it works. We get rid of the anxiety. We get rid of the self-loathing. We get rid of some of the mechanisms in the mind that are not serving, okay? Like an autoimmune disease, how it's like the body thinks it's helping, but it's making it worse. That's what we're doing as hypnotists. We're getting rid of a lot of these thought autoimmune kind of diseases, right? There's ways that the brain starts thinking and then it gets out of control and it's actually destructive. It's not helpful. We get to help our clients do that, and it's very real and it's highly effective, and clients are able to repeat it later on so they know they've changed and it changes their life, okay? So how will you get clients? Well, there's lots of ways to get clients, okay? When I first became a hypnotist in 2013, I did 2 things, and these 2 things are still highly recommended. First is I told my story, okay? I told my story of being a software developer and then needing a change and like falling in love with hypnosis and changing my life. Okay, everybody wanted that story. They want it too, okay? So you will tell a story of relief, a story of success. It might be about you. It might be about a client that you work with at the beginning, okay? But testimonials from your clients become very, very important. It's really what helps other people read, oh, this person lost 50 pounds, this person lost 50 pounds, right? And so they want to see the success, okay? But so you'll probably share your own experience with hypnosis or a client you work with. The other thing that we do find that works is advertising. Okay, now I'm big on Google Ads and Bing and everything. We don't use it quite as much anymore, but I do know that people like to use ads at the beginning. Okay, but I will caution you, if you're using ads at the beginning but you don't have a really good, like you don't have enough education on your website, it's very likely that it won't be an effective campaign. Okay, so when we have people who do want to run ads, we help them make the most of those ads, right? Clients need to come to your site and see authority. Authority. You need authority, and that's why we're going to teach classes. Okay, it increases your authority. This is a client. Her presenting issue was weight loss, okay? But she got way more than that. This brought me to tears when she told me this story. I remember it clearly. We were upstairs. And the reason it touched me so much is I had no idea that this was going on in her life, okay? I've lost almost all the weight I wanted, but my neuropathy is better too, and that was unexpected. And this doesn't really tell the full story, but now that her neuropathy is better, she's able to do her needlepoint. Her life was so much better. And what had been going on was something with her child. Okay, so she had a daughter with special needs, and the daughter with special needs, like there were significant special needs. And it was extremely stressful for the client. And so after she had cancer, she developed neuropathy, and then the food and everything with her child, it was just all piling up. And though she comes to see me for hypnosis, and she lost weight, But it was so much more than that. She got rid of the neuropathy. She upgraded her relationship with her daughter. And there was just like a million other things that happened that really helped this woman go from like a before and an after experience, her life before hypnosis and her life after, where she felt so much better about everything. Okay? So what are clients seeking support for? Weight loss and smoking are the bread and butter. Okay, so weight loss and smoking habits, they drive people crazy. Okay, I'm seeing a lot of people for weight loss, smoking, and alcohol right now. But stress is always a part of that. And a lot of people will come to you just because of stress. They will be at their wits' end. I'm going crazy, Erika, you've got to help me. I don't know what to do. And they might even say something like, I don't know why I'm at the hypnotist. Like almost they never would have thought that they were the type of person to ever go seek support from a hypnotist. Okay, but that is a very beautiful place for our potential clients to be in, because it's like a cry for help, and we get to perform what I call emotional triage. It's very loving, highly effective, helps our clients before they even sign up with us. Okay, so if you guys have questions on emotional triage, it is part of the training, but it's an important thing to do as a hypnotist in general. Okay. We're going to help a lot of kids. If you want to help kids, please, 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 we need you more now than ever. We need hypnotists in general, mostly because of COVID. Okay, COVID was way too stressful for everybody, and nobody is recovered from it in a general sense, and things are still kind of falling out of that, and kids are part of it, and what they might have kind of lost through those years, and where they are now, and how they feel behind, and how they feel stressed. And so there's a great need for more hypnotists who are helping kids. There's a great need for more hypnotists, period. Okay, because people are, you know how many people picked up a bad habit again over COVID? I mean, I would say nearly half of my clients who are coming in presenting with what we call a too much behavior, wanting to get rid of a behavior, smoking and drinking, and I'll ask them the history. Most of them have stopped, and then they picked it back up during COVID. Okay, so there's a lot of people who, and this might be you or somebody you know too, right? You kind of reverted, slid back a little bit maybe during COVID, and now here we are a few years later, and it's too much for people. Like they picked up their bad habit and they need help getting back out of it again, and they feel guilty, they feel ashamed, they feel silly for picking it back up again, because when they quit the first time, they promised themselves they would never do it. But nobody planned, nobody told us that there was going to be a global pandemic either, right? So I think people weren't prepared for the level of scare that was happening during that period. Okay, so we need you. We need you. We need you. We need you. The foundation of a successful hypnosis business is authenticity, mostly because our clients and the world right now are tired of BS marketers. Everybody is reading through the lines. Nobody wants to hear stories that aren't true or overhyped potential solutions. Okay, the people online, marketers or consumers in general, are a lot smarter than they used to be. Okay, and they're always smart, but you know, you used to be able to kind of overpromise and underdeliver, and that is gone. We never did that in hypnosis, of course, but a lot of hypnotists would kind of did the bro marketing thing and were, you know, going the normal route of finding clients, right? So what I'm telling you is clients want authenticity. They want to be able to trust you. They want to feel like you're being truthful with them, that they can really get to the place where they're going to share kind of what's really going on with them. Okay, so if you're ready to be authentic, this is a great profession for you. All right. So again, I said no single sessions. Do packages only. Okay. If you do single sessions, you might need to get 10 or 15 clients a month to be profitable. If you do packages, you probably only need to get 4 clients. 4 clients a month. Okay. That means you would talk to 2 people every week. So 2 people every week will get 4 clients a month. And if you're charging $1,600, like you might for a brand new hypnotist, right? That's good money for at the very beginning. And then you can increase your packages up to 2,500, 3,500. I charge anywhere between 2,500 and 5K right now for my packages, depending on the duration. Okay. So I don't need to see that many clients, as many clients in the month, and I can spend some of my time creating other content, creating recordings, and that type of thing. Okay. The balance is really nice, right? So how do we do it? Well, we do it through social proof, if you like that. Okay. A lot of people are online, and so we have to learn how to stop the scroll. Okay. So sensationalism, like that is part of that. So this is why authenticity is so important. We're going to stop the scroll with authenticity, stories of hope, stories of relief and getting out, getting off the hamster wheel, right? We're also going to do live events. Live events are super important. I can't stress how important live events are, even if you're not doing it in person, meaning you're just doing it via Zoom, just like we're doing right now. Just like we're doing right now. People want to see you and know that you're a real person. They want to hear you talk. Okay, so live events, the thing about live events is people will say things to you like, well, I would do hypnosis with you, Erika. I mean, I thought hypnosis was scary, but now that I met you, you just seem like a normal person. I'll do hypnosis with you. Okay. So to a lot of degree, we need to create that experience for our clients. The hypnotist, a lot of our clients want to meet the hypnotist and make sure that the hypnotist isn't crazy weirdo. And then they'll sign up. I still get this. Just last week, a client, or just this week, this client came in. He said, well, you're very reasonable. I'm glad I met you. Like, his idea of what a hypnotist might be was different than the way that I presented. So he signed up and everything was great, right? There's a perception about what hypnosis is and who it helps that can not always helpful for our potential clients, right? But the thing is that they will get desperate. Someone will suggest it. They might not really want to, but they're desperate, so they come to see us. This is where emotional triage is so important. The way that we treat that person is going to be ultimately whether they sign up and get the results or not. Okay. You could do advertising. Advertising is effective, but you have to be very careful because Google and Bing go after certain aspects of advertising and won't let you advertise for things that might be considered addiction. Okay. So if you're helping somebody with stop smoking, sometimes Google thinks you're offering addiction services. So there can be challenges with running ads, okay? But it's very effective. As a matter of fact, the first 2-3 years of my business, I ran the entire thing on Google Ads. I was probably the only hypnotist in Bellingham, maybe even Washington State, running ads, but it ran my entire business for 3 years, right? So it's highly effective. You're going to get in front of other people's audiences. So you might talk to, other colleagues. You might go to your doctor or dentist. You might speak at the co-op. You might speak at the Lions Club. So there's other places that you can speak where people already have an audience, and you'll come in and do a stress buster workshop. Okay. And then the growth protocol, authentic growth protocol that I shared with you earlier, right? Again, authentic growth method with products, working with private clients, teaching classes, and products. And these things kind of flow out, right? You work with enough private clients, they're going to say some of the same things. It's easy to create classes, and we have base classes for you guys to teach. And then out of that, you're going to notice what products your clients really want, and you'll create them, okay? So some of this happens automatically. How will you get clients? Well, teaching builds credibility and community. So this is one of the most important parts, and why, if you're running ads and you don't have authority, meaning you have nothing on your website, or you're sending them to a squeeze page, and it doesn't have authority built into the page, people will bounce off your site. Okay, so you really need to have authority built into your system by teaching. Okay, there's nothing like it. People will, believe that you know what you're talking about because they saw that you were speaking at the library last week. Okay, all right. It's not required, but it will greatly help your practice. Okay, you're going to teach on topics that matter to you, matter to your clients, things that are going on in your community that people are struggling with. Okay, so you could teach a class on how hypnosis helps you lose weight before the holidays, how hypnosis can help you sleep better than ever before, how to use hypnosis to reset your values and find more purpose in life, something like that. Okay. You'll offer these classes at businesses, local spaces, online. You can do it for free, just like we're doing right now. Okay. Here's a class that I taught at the co-op. This is Reprogram Your Weight. So we would get 40 to 50 people here, right? Pretty easy to get the people here. This is an example of other people's audiences. Okay, so I didn't have to get those 40 or 50 people there. This came from the co-op. The co-op invited them, and I showed up and taught it. Okay, so we use other people's audiences, and guess what? Other people want hypnotists. Okay, people don't always want just like professional speakers or things like that. Hypnosis, we get the added benefit of giving them an experience. Okay, I taught the Stress Buster workshop at a lot of businesses downtown here. Okay, a lot of businesses want stress management for their employees, right? And you can come in and teach them some really good brain hacks and some really cool things about themselves so that they know there's nothing wrong with them, and now they're feeling better, right? You'll get clients out of that. Okay. You're going to educate on what hypnosis actually is. So part of our job, we have to get rid of the misperceptions about hypnosis. Mostly that is mind control, and that, you know, like every client is going to learn to cluck like chicken or bark like a dog or something like that. You know, we got to get rid of all of that, right? And I have some funny things to share with you, though, when clients say that to you, how to respond in a good way. But it is part of our job. We get to tell people what hypnosis really is, and baked inside of that, we get to tell them that there's nothing wrong with them. We get to tell them this is how the nervous system works. This is how the brain operates, okay? Then we're going to share the practical uses of hypnosis. That's very important. So you'll kind of do how you're using hypnosis in your life, how your clients are using hypnosis in their life, okay? And so you can teach some of these classes, right? The Stress Buster workshop class, anti-anxiety toolkit, how to get better sleep with hypnosis, how to stop procrastinating. We have some of these classes already authored for you to teach, okay? The last way that you'll get clients is products. You're going to create hypnosis recordings, self-paced classes, or toolkits, but at the beginning it only has to be one recording. And I recommend the Learning to Relax recording. We give you the pattern, the words, so that you can record it. Now you get to give this to your clients, okay? So I want you to understand how important this is, because especially if you're working with clients remotely, I want you to give them a recording of your voice before they get on the first hypnosis session with you, okay? It's going to be much more effective if they're already accustomed to your voice. So we use our hypnosis recordings first and foremost to serve our clients. But then we turn around and sell them and give them away in lead magnets and a shopping cart style thing. Okay, so we have Shopify at Cascade Hypnosis Training, and we have all sorts of hypnosis recordings and all sorts of things like that that people can buy, but we'll also give them away. And we'll say, hey, come get a free copy of The Bridge of Insight this week. It's only available for free for 1 week. And we get a whole bunch of people on our list. They want to download that recording. And then we get to follow up with other guidance and other things, and those people will become our clients, okay? So the hypnosis recordings serves your clients. You can give it away at your teachings, and then it will bring in more money and lead to further growth, okay? All three of those things together, seeing private clients, teaching clients, and creating those recordings as passive income product, they all work together really easily. It's something that a single person, you don't need an assistant, you don't need anybody else, you can do that all by yourself. Now, it's fun to have an assistant if you want, but you don't need to, okay? So here's just an example of some of the products that we've created at Cascade Hypnosis Center. We've got all my books there on the left. We've got a applied hypnosis training playbook. We've got Amplify Your Personal Power with Hypnosis. We've got the Alpha Sequence Daily Practice. We've got the Bridge of Insight, which I mentioned before. And these are all things that we can sell and give away to clients to bring in new clientele and to serve and get better relief for our clients, okay? But what separates hypnotists who struggle from the ones that make a difference? So let me tell you about the system of hypnosis that makes this whole thing work, okay? Because you do need the right hypnosis training for what you want to do. I can say that we get a lot of graduates of other programs who come train with us. Not that the other training is bad, it's just it's not professional. That's all. That's all. Okay, there's a lot of people teaching hypnosis, but they're not actually professional hypnotists. They might be teachers, okay? Or they're not actually teaching you, they're just teaching you hypnosis. They're not teaching you the business part of it. You have to have both. You have to have the business and marketing side of it, or you won't have any clients. Okay. And even if you know business and marketing, there's some very specific things that happen with hypnosis that you will want to learn about that make our profession just a little bit different. Okay. So I'm going to tell you now about our hypnosis certification training and how it works. What you want to have the hypnosis skills and technique. Okay. You're not going to have to memorize anything, but you will feel confident hypnotizing anybody who wants to do hypnosis with you. Okay, and the more skill you have, the more you practice it, the better you will feel. Okay, you'll have a strategy for proper hypnosis session and client management, and that's taking a client from presenting issue to full relief. Okay, that's not an easy thing to figure out, but it's very important to understand how it works. Okay, because clients can drop out in the middle if we don't care for them properly. Okay. Business building, how to build your business so that we have some repetition so that you're not working so hard all the time. At the beginning of a new business, there's a little bit of extra work. There's a little bit of paperwork, etc. But we want to help you streamline that so it's as systematic from the beginning as possible, that you're not drowning in paperwork or marketing or sales or anything like that. You can spend most of your time in front of clients doing hypnosis. Okay. Self-care and internal state regulation. You got to take care of yourself. Okay, that's one of the most important things, all right? And then implementation. So implementation is our VIP program after class where we help you even further get and work with your first clients, okay? If you don't have a systematic approach, it tends to be overwhelming. And then people don't know what to do, and a mind that doesn't know what to do and is overwhelmed usually does nothing. Okay, so that's kind of what happens without a systematic approach. Okay, so let me tell you now about 5-Path. 5-Path, 5-phased advanced transformational hypnosis. It was developed over 20 years ago by Cal Banyan, but it has further roots in universal therapy by Gerald Kind. So it goes back like 40, 50, 60 years. Okay. And what it is it's a system of hypnosis that gets our clients massive results. And part of the reason it gets them massive results is because it's insight-based hypnosis. You're not going to be reading them scripts, okay? There are structures and ways to go through these sessions, but it won't be memorization, okay? And that's a lot more fun to work with people that way anyway, okay? So the first phase, preparation, testing, and convincing. This one is all about hope. Okay. The second one, age regression. This is all about getting rid of fear. And there's a lot of fear that we call erroneous. It doesn't need to be there. And it doesn't need to be there because it was misperceived to begin with. So we get a lot of relief there with getting rid of erroneous information, but we also validate the truth. So phase 2, this age regression here is a shining star because most of our clients after that, they feel like $1 million. They feel so different because there's some level of carrying around emotional baggage and limiting beliefs that people might cart around with them for decades. Okay, age regression solves that in one session. Sometimes it takes more, depending on the complexity. Okay. After that, we are going to help our client get rid of anger. Anger is at the root of chronic pain. Anger is at the root of a lot of kind of automatic self-loathing. There's a lot of anger in our clients because there's a lot of unfairness. There's a lot of honest to goodness BS, right? And so people don't have any place to put it. And a lot of us, a lot of people don't want to be angry, right? They want to be kind. They might have grown up in a situation where it was very violent, and so they associate anger with violence. So we have an issue because a lot of our clients don't want to associate with being angry or don't want to be angry. And so there's a little bit of work here to really help our clients with this because once you do, it's totally life-changing if there is anger in there. And again, some of our clients don't want the anger. They don't see themselves that way, so they deceive themselves from its existence. And if you don't catch that, they'll continue suffering for quite some time. But as hypnotists, it's kind of an easy catch. Okay, I just find that nobody else is catching it right now. Okay, so there's some things in hypnosis that we can help with our client, and this is why we get to say, even when everything else has failed. Because by the time they get to us, we get to unlock those deeper layers and things start working. Okay. Phase 4, forgiveness of self. So this is about guilt. This is about usually guilt and shame. Okay. So now we get rid of guilt and shame, and our client is really feeling better now. We're getting rid of emotional baggage. We're getting rid of misunderstandings. We're getting rid of a lot of BS. Okay. Now we have phase 5. Phase 5 is addresses secondary gain. Not all of our clients need to go there, but it's really good to have it there, and you will use it in very specific cases. So there's a part of you that still wants to keep smoking, and there's a part of you that doesn't want to smoke anymore. You're going to understand what's going on. It's an internal conflict. Okay, whereas the first 4 phases almost always have something to do externally that we're processing. Okay, the 5th one is more of an internal conflict. The client is unsure, and this leads to no decisions, not moving forward. This leads to I feel stuck. Okay, that's what happens. 5 path is systematic, which is lovely, especially as an engineer. We want it to be systematic, okay? Makes it easy for you to do. But it's also criteria based, okay? So there's some very specific things that you're going to watch for. Now, how does all of this work? This is how it works. You're going to be fully present with your client, okay? You're not looking at notes. You're not trying to memorize something. You're not trying to remember something. You're fully present with your client. That's where the magic happens. You're going to notice when they hesitate and when they pause. You're going to be watching the unconscious mind. Okay? Mouth sounds, hesitation. Okay? So that's your job, is really good watching and listening. Okay? That's a big part of our job as a hypnotist. Okay? Let's see, depth testing. We want to make sure that our client is at the proper depth of hypnosis, but we as 5-pathers have it built into the induction. There's nothing separate, okay? So the thing that I like about 5-path, and the reason I still do it after all these years, is all of the tools are just built right into the program. So there's no extra weird things that you need to learn at the beginning. It's all built in. Okay, this makes it easy for you to pay attention to your client, easy for you to get results right away. Okay. Well, the number one reason that I love 5-path is clients get results. I would not be here if it didn't work. Okay. Clients get results consistently. Okay, now that doesn't mean it's an easy straight shot, right? You've seen that success, and like the path rate is success. People want it to be straight, but it's like all over the place. It is all over the place, but our clients get results. They really do. Okay. Now the secret ingredient, 7th path, self-hypnosis. Okay, you don't just want to do hypnosis with your client, you also want to teach them. You want to teach them a version of self-hypnosis so that they can retain the insight and so that they're not picking up new emotional baggage as they live their life, right? So you, as part of this program, you are trained and certified to be a 7th path teacher. And this is one of the classes that you can teach. So you immediately after class, you can go teach 7th path self-hypnosis. As a matter of fact, that would be a great thing to do. Go do that, get a couple students right away, and now you have a class, and do the recording, and people will start coming in, right? All right, so we want to invite compassionate hypnotists to introduce a new area of hypnosis using modern and effective hypnosis. It feels like we are busier than ever before. We're constantly looking for people to help others. You know, a hypnotist will probably only work with about 100 people in the course of a year. Okay, so it's not like we're working with people at a deep level. So it's, it takes a little longer. Our sessions are an hour and a half, almost 2 hours, okay? So there's not a risk of like there being too many hypnotists or like a saturated market or something like that. The truth is that there's just more people that need hypnosis, and we need to have more hypnotists that are willing to put themselves out there, right? So that people can find you. Okay. Here's some of our new grads and their businesses. So proud of these guys. They're teaching classes, opening their offices, and speaking at weekend events. So good job, guys. This is Lisa Finn. She's a life coach. Oh, let me get my face off of there. And I know that we're almost out of time, so I'm going to skip through these and get to the end part. Okay, if you guys have more questions about some of our grads, you can go to cascadehypnosistraining.com/results, and there's information on all of these guys there if you want to look at some more results of our grads. Okay, I'm just going to get to the end here because we're almost out of time. So, can you actually hypnotize somebody? Yes. Anyone can do hypnosis. Anybody in the world can do hypnosis. Okay, this is a picture of some of our grads in the classroom. And class is taught hypnotically. Okay, so class itself is taught hypnotically, and you learn hypnosis in class. Okay, you also will be taught to do in-person hypnosis and remote. So that's another benefit and bonus of our class, because we always have remote students. So that means that you'll be able to have confidence with both. And that's great. Even if you don't think that you're ever going to do an in-person, or even if you think you're never going to do a remote, you still want the confidence to do so, because a client might be, they might not be able to drive that day. This is kind of what happens here in Bellingham. It will snow, and we don't always get a lot of snow. So sometimes people are like, I'm just going to stay at home today. Why risk, right? We don't have snow plows that often. And so I'll do a remote session with that person. Okay. We want you to know and have confidence in how to do that too. Okay. You do not need scripts, and you don't need a bunch of inductions. You need one really good one, and you need to feel confident doing it, okay? And that's our goal. The scripts you don't need, but you will learn from them. You'll still read scripts. You'll still utilize them, but you're not going to sit there and read them, okay? The back and forth insight nature of the work we do is what gives us what gives our clients a superior experience, because we're not just doing it one way. Right? It's back and forth. So we understand what's going on with the client, and that's part of the reason why they get such great results, okay? Because it is back and forth, okay? Our next training is October 26th through November 1st. So it starts on 3 weeks from Sunday. It starts on a Sunday, and then it ends on a Saturday, okay? So it's just 1 week away from work if you're doing the normal Monday through Friday thing, okay? Build a business that works for you. Work once, earn many times. That's why we want you to use the profitability pyramid and incorporate what we've shown you here today to make your life easier. So start with what you love. You're going to add structure and systems and offers, and your unique voice will come through in the art hypnosis that you are creating. It is a piece of art by the time we're done with it, right? You're adding music, you're adding your voice. So our training program includes everything you need to be successful, okay? Comprehensive pre-work. So there's a little bit of pre-work to bring everybody up to the same speed of hypnosis, okay? We aren't going to start with Hypnosis 101. We want everyone to have a base understanding, okay? But it's pretty easy, straightforward pre-work. And then there's the in-person 7-day training. It is comprehensive. It is really immersive. So people have personal experiences with hypnosis in this class, but we also have fun. Okay, like I said at the beginning, that's when the brain is learning. The brain is learning inside of play. Okay, so we want to be able to have fun so that you are learning at an accelerated rate, okay? You learn both the hypnosis expertise and the business side of things, okay? You learn both in class, and you learn self-hypnosis, so you also learn the personal state regulation. Those three things together are really all you need to get started, okay? We do offer, as I said before, our post support, so we have a post program. We call it the one-on-one VIP mentorship program that you could join for 6 months, where we help you get and work with your first clients. So for some of our grads, they already know what they want to do. They go off and grow their practice. Others, they've never done a business before or want extra guidance. So they just join our VIP program, and then we help you do that in the first 6 months after you graduate. Okay. Our training also includes the training library with additional trainings and support that you can, like you would imagine a training program having. And then we also give you swipe files and content marketing. Okay. The way that you can learn so quickly is because we prime you for it, and the way that we teach it to you. It is repetition and hypnosis. Okay. What is it like as a hypnotist? It is fun and interesting work. It's very fulfilling, and you get to have an entrepreneurial lifestyle. So work when you want to work. So I highly recommend it. I love helping people in ways that they never thought possible for them. Okay, so this really can be life-changing for people. Okay. The pricing is $4,500. It's a very affordable. And if you register with the code Prosperity, we'll give you a $500 discount. And that's mostly for joining us here today. So thank you very much. Enter the code Prosperity on the checkout page, on the application page, and I'll show you that in just a minute. Here's some pictures of our class, our last class. Now, this one here is the application. So if you want to apply, and maybe you have additional questions, like you're not sure, you have a question about this or a question about that, go apply. And when you apply, put the word prosperity right in there, because what that will do, that'll give you the $500 discount. And then Tim, our director of admissions, will schedule a call with you, and you can ask him any questions you want whatsoever. Now, if you just know that this is what you want and you want to get started right away, and you just want to pay the deposit and get started, then go to direct enrollment. Okay, go to direct enrollment, and there you'll be able to put down a smaller deposit, and then Tim will connect with you and get your package and get everything started. Okay, and that's what that one looks like. You'll still put the word prosperity there, but a third option, if you're not sure and you just want to talk to one of us, you just maybe want to have a quick call, go schedule a quick Q&A call with Tim, and there's that link there that Tim was, I'm sure, pasting into chat. Thank you so much, Tim. All right, everyone, thank you so much for being here today. I greatly appreciate your attention and support. I love what I do. I love helping people make big changes in their life, and I love helping hypnotists gain the skill to be able to do it themselves. It's been such a rewarding way to bring more healing and goodness to the world, and I invite you to join me in our next class. So please get registered or apply or reach out to us, and I look forward to seeing you in the hypnosis classroom October 26th through November 1st. If you have any additional questions, you can email us at info@cascadehypnosiscenter.com, or you can reach out to me directly, Erika, at cascadehypnosiscenter.com. Thanks, everyone. Have a great Friday. Hope to see you in class in a couple of weeks. Love you lots. Bye for now. All right, YouTube. Great to see everyone there. Love you lots. Bye for now.